Hey you all, it's your girl Jazzy Amari, and I have some amazing news to share with you. I am currently 29 years young. Today is November 29th, 2024. But tomorrow, November 30th, 2024, I'm exiting. I'll be 30. And it's only a couple of hours away. So I thought I would leave some gems of how to thrive in your 20s behind. Now, people start off this video like, oh, what would you tell your younger self? This is something I would tell my siblings, something I would tell my younger self, something I would tell my future children, and something I would say just as an advocate, just as a mentor. Now, I have 8 tips that are special to me, and you can use them however you would like. But before I get into these tips, I'm gonna ask that you subscribe, that you follow, and feel free to follow me on Instagram at supermodeljaze. Now, where did my name come from? My mom had it in a dream. Thank you. Okay. Now, some milestones. At the age of 2022, at the age of 22, I founded A Fit Models Dance Movement, and we are now celebrating 7 years as a business. At the age of, I want to say it was 26, I found my biological father. And I'm sharing this with you because these interesting but very important to me milestones happen in my 20s. And it's not about how old I should be to have kids, how old I should be to be married, but it's how old it took me to heal, how old it took me to become established, how old it took me to be fully embraced in my identity and who I am, not only in myself but through Christ. Right? So here are my 8 tips, and I hope that you enjoy them. Number 1 is to date yourself first. And dating yourself first, what that looks like is, I remember when I had broke up with my ex. By the way, 26, I had my first relationship. It was a real life relationship. But I broke up with him, and the first thing my therapist said, while I was just so distraught, she said, you chose you. And what dating yourself in this season looks like choosing you. Because if I don't like something and I'm by myself, I'm going to speak up, right? I'm not going to suppress it just to impress who. Not saying that you should, but the point is you want to become your most authentic self, so that way you can easily say, hey, I don't like that. Hey, this is what I do like. You know yourself, and you're okay with being by yourself. That's number 1. Number 2 is be bold even when it's uncomfortable. Use your voice because it matters. And oftentimes when we're bold, even when it's uncomfortable, we can get rejected, but guess what's on the other side of rejection? Yes, it's protection. Rejection was for our protection, but it's confidence. It took you confidence to get to where you are, whether it was to approach that young man, whether it was to approach that young woman. It took confidence. It took boldness. And even if or not the rejection, you took a shot. And that takes courage. That takes bravery. So be bold, even when it's uncomfortable. Number 3, know when to be vulnerable. And it's interesting because in my early 20s, I struggled with this. I'm going to give you a tip, okay? I know we have 8 tips, but in tip number 3, when it comes to being vulnerable, for me, what helps is my appearance. When I have an afro and my nails are not done, and I have sweats and a t-shirt on and no makeup on my face, it's a little harder for me to be vulnerable. It's a little harder for me to really rest in my feminine energy. I love my fro, love my comfortable clothes, but it's something about me putting the extra energy and attention into my appearance and how I feel on the inside to reflect the outward, to know when to pull back and be like, oh, I'm sorry. I don't know what that connection does for me, but it does something. Just pay attention to your appearance. Maybe you gotta look good when you say I'm sorry. Know when to be vulnerable, okay? Number 3 is know when to be vulnerable. Number 4 is it is okay to cry. It doesn't make you weak to cry. I don't understand how people be like, oh, I'm trying to be strong. Be strong and cry with them. Give them a hug. Let them know it's okay. I'm here if you need a shoulder to cry on. Because one thing that I learned in prayer training, I'm an intercessor, which means I'm a prayer warrior. Amen. It's that sometimes you don't have the words to say. And all you can do is throw up your hands, or all you can do is cry. And that's a form of prayer. And so who are you to hold back a conversation between you and God because of some ego or pride or some stigma of, oh, you're weak? You're not. You are strong, and it is okay to cry. Okay? Number 5 is let it go and let it out. To me, what that looks like is overlooking offense. I'm struggling in that area, honestly. Being defensive, the spirit of offense is real. So sometimes you have to ask yourself questions. Am I being offensive? Am I being defensive? Ask. Because 9 times out of 10, if somebody labels you aggressive 3 times, maybe there's something going on. Don't be offended. Let it go and let it out. 2 separate things. Let it go means being content where the situation is, whether it worked out, whether it didn't, but you let it go. I don't have the capacity. Letting it out can go both ways. Whether you reached closure to let it out fully, or you did not. Either way, you're going to put a pen to that bad boy and set fire and release it to the water at the ocean, at the beach, right? Or you're going to journal it, or you're going to have an open conversation, because we can be bold even when it's difficult, right? Number 6 is to relax. I feel like our generation would be so in a hurry to get to what we're trying to get to in 4 years. And then when 4 years comes and we're trying to get to the next thing, then when we look back, where did time go? Relaxing looks like not stressing. It looks like writing your manifestations down, writing the vision and making it plain. But having enough faith to also step away and see what happens. Relax. Number 7, trust God and the process. Similar to relaxing. When you're able to relax, you're able to just let all that energy just do its work. All that hard work, all those prayers. Trusting God, we're not psychic. He didn't give us a manual other than the Bible. No individual instructions on how to do what, how to duck and dodge. So trusting, it looks different for everybody. And I'm getting stronger in those areas as well. But one thing I know, how I survived living on my own, how I was able to love and let go, it was to trust, because I know God has something bigger and better for my life. And my final point, number 8, change is okay. Being adaptable, no matter the outcome, and embracing it. It's okay. Just like I'm embracing turning 30 tomorrow. I am okay. I say goodbye to my 20s, as I am currently 29. So, number 1, date yourself first. Number 2, be bold even when it is uncomfortable. Number 3, know when to be vulnerable. Number 4, it's okay to cry. Number 5, let it go and let it out. Number 6 is to relax. Number 7, trust God in the process. And number 8, change is okay. Thank you for trusting me through your process and your journey in your 20s. It's been so real being in mine.